यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्याधिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्याधिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani. Shri Vrindaye Tulsi Devyaye Priyaye Keshivasya Cha Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavate Namo Namaha. Shri Vrindaye Tulsi Devyaye Priyaye Keshivasya Cha Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavate Namo Namaha. Shri Vrindaye Tulsi Devyaye Priyaye Keshivasya Cha Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavate Namo Namaha. Shri Vrinda Devi ki jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani ki jai. She has classes on Sunday, Mataji, and then by the time she... Oh yeah, she'll come tomorrow. I think. Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Bando Mui Savadhana Made. Bando Mui Savadhana Made. Jahara prasade bhai e bhavatoriya jai. Krishna prapti hoy jaha hoyte. Krishna prapti hoy jaha hoyte. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitte Te Koriya Kya. Arana Kori Ho Mane Asha. Arana Kori Ho Mane Asha. Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati. Ji Prasade Pure Sarva Asha. Ji Prasade Pure Sarva Asha. चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेद गाय जहर चरित वेद गाय जहर चरित श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवाना लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवाना हाँ हाँ प्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पद छाया हाँ हाँ प्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पद छाया ए बेजास को शुक्ति भुवाना ए बेजास को शुक्ति भुवाना श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतित पावना श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतित पावना जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदान्ता स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमो विष्णुपदाय नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चादेशतारिणे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Shri Radhe. Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai. Ki Bhajayo Jaya Gaura Chande Arati ka Shobha. Janavi Tatavane Jagamanalobha. Kibadakhini nita cha bame gadadara. Nikate Advaita Shini Vasa Chakradhara. Kiba Boshi Ache Gauracha Ratna Simhasani.
वाचू घोषादि गाय की शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताल मधुर मृदंग बाजे परामरसाल शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल की बाबहु कोटी चंद्रजीनी वदन उज्ज्वल गाला दे सेवन माला कोरे जलमाला की बा शिवा शुक नारद प्रेमे गद गद भक्ति विनोद देखे गौरार संपद की बजयो जय गौराचंदे आरती शोभा जानवी तटवने जगमन लोभा जग जन मन लोभा जग जन मन लोभा निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने I didn't know Prabhuji, sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Every week I was singing.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachadeshatadine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Yashi Krishna Chaitanya Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasani Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Shama Sundara, Radha Shama Sundara Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Tai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Hari, Gora Premanande Haribo.
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परगज स्तोत्र सचरित डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परगज नित्य लीला परविष्ट गोस्वामी सरस्वती महाराज प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की गंगा माई यमुना माई की भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की समागत भक्त वृंद की जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की मायापुर नवदीप धाम की मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की ऑल वैष्णव वृंद की ऑल glory to assemble devotees, all glory to assemble devotees, all glory to assemble devotees, all glory, all to Sri Guru and Gauranga, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Guru and Gauranga.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Singaya.
Praladadaine.
Ladadaine.
Hiranyakasipurvakshaha.
Hiranyakashipuvatsaha.
Silatankanakalaye.
Shilatankanakanaye.
Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha.
Oh Narshingo Parato Narshingo.
Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha.
Ito Narshingo Parato Narshingo.
Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimha.
Yato Yato Yami Tato Narshingo.
Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimha.
Yato Yato Yami Tato Narshingo.
Vahe Narsimha Hirdaye Narsimha.
Vahe Narshingo Hridaye Narshingo.
Vahe Narsimha Hirdaye Narsimha.
Vahe Narshingo Hridaye Narshingo.
Narasimha Madim Saranam Prapade.
Narasimhamadam Prapade.
Narasimha Madim Saranam Prapade.
Narasimhamadam Sharanam Prapade.
Tava kar kamalavare nakham adbhuta sringa dalita hiranyakasipu tanu bhringa केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
Tavakara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubhrangam Keshavarita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare
Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev
Jaya Narshingade Jaya Narshingade Jaya Narshingade Jaya Narshingade
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
विघ्न विनाशक नरसिंह देव भगवान की भक्त
Jai
शेष प्रहलाद महाराज की हर
Jai
परमानंदे हरि हरि
Hari Hari Bo. Krishna 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 Hari Hari.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Amritanda Prabhu, you can hear me?
Yeah, Prabhuji, can hear and we can see the screen also.
You can see the screen.
Yeah.
Is the movement screen?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's good. Saradveri Prabhu, your projector is okay, projector screen?
Yeah, Prabhu, it's okay, but I see your note screen. I'm seeing two screens. I think you have to switch your monitor, probably, the presenter. I see first slide and the second slide together.
You are seeing. I see. Let's see. Why are you saying two? I don't know.
Cancel the notes if you are not
Yeah,
recording. You can
yeah. Swap
just do
interview and
F5.
Skype. What about now?
Yeah, yeah, it's good.
It's okay now?
Yeah, Prabhu.
Okay. Good. So, Saradhar Prabhu, can they hear devotees in the temple?
Yeah, Prabhu. Prana Krishna Prabhu told me that they are able to hear.
They can hear from the temple room. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But they cannot talk in.
That's fine. They can at least hear, so that's important. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshuranmalitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadameham Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jatapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamcha Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sahagana Raghunatam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sangitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhamritam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagat Patehe Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vanchakalpa Tarubhyaksh Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasa Adi Gaura Bhakt Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All the Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. So we welcome all the devotees who are in the temple room or who are on the Zoom call to our Sunday feast class discussion. Today, I was told to speak on the glories of Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu. Tomorrow is actual day of appearance of Advaita Acharya. So this Sunday program is to glorify Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu. So we will share some of our understandings of the appearance of Advaita Acharya Prabhu and his mood with all of you. Let me share my screen. That will work. I think it should work here. Okay. So we will chant this beautiful verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. The author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he chants this verse very, very often in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Actually, for all the chapters. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakt Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakt Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakt Vrinda. all glories to Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Shri Advaita Chandra Prabhu, and all glories to the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to all of you who are assembled today for this program to hear the glories of Advaita Chandra Prabhu, and who are not even there connected. All glories to them also. So Shri Advaita Chandra Prabhu, many of you have heard the pastimes of Advaita Chandra Prabhu, Advaita Acharya. So we'll go through some of the pastimes, especially his appearance. So here is on the screen, we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, we call this Sankirtan movement painting. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's with Nityananda Prabhu. Behind Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Advaita Acharya Prabhu. And on the side we see Gadadhar Pandit Prabhu, Shri Vas Acharya, and all the Bhakta Vrinda. So this is how Lord Chaitanya appears. He appears with his parshad, with his devotees. Just like one time when of Srila Prabhupada's dear disciples, he painted Krishna's picture, with beautiful picture. And he painted in Shri Krishna, Krishna Bhagavan in his bluish complexion, yellow dhoti, peacock feather, and he brought that picture to his Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, and he said, Prabhupada, I painted this Krishna picture. He was thinking he will get appreciation. But Srila Prabhupada said, hold on. This is Krishna alone. Krishna is not alone. Lord Krishna always comes with his parents, his cows, his peacocks, his Gopa friends and gopis, Nanda Baba. He's always with his devotees. So then this devotee had to modify that picture a little bit. So this is our understanding in Gaudiya Siddhanta about God's appearance. God appears with his devotees. He's not alone. Lord Krishna always, we see in our temples all over the world, we always see Radha Krishna deities, Gaur Nitai deities, Krishna Balaram deities. And they're always surrounded by cows and peacocks and sometimes monkeys and deers and beautiful trees and lakes and gardens, all the paraphernalia. So this is our movement. God is he comes to enjoy the pastimes, and to enjoy he comes with his devotees. Now, Lord Krishna appeared 5,000 plus years ago In Vrindavan, he performed his leelas in Vrindavan, then Mathura, then Dwarka, then between Hastinapur and Dwarka. And we see in 18th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna declares at the very end of Bhagavad Gita, 65, 66, Sarva Dharmana Parityajya. Lord Krishna declares to Arjuna that Arjuna, those who surrender to me, Sarva Dharmana Parityajya, Mam Ekam Sharanam Braj, who surrender to me solely, wholesale. Sarvadharman Paritajya Mamekam Sharanam Braja Aham Tvam Sarva Papavyo Moksheshyami Matsucha. They don't have to fear because I take care of them in many different ways. I take care of them. One of them is I can take care of their papa, the sins. And then there, just verse before that, he says, Mana mana bhav bhakto, worship me, become my devotee, pay obeisances to me. So this is 5,000 years ago, and over the years, our acharyas saw that people actually forgot how to surrender to Krishna, how to worship him, how to pay obeisances to him, what scriptures we must focus on, what mantras we should chant, what rituals we must perform. All of us forget. That's the condition of the living entity. Living entity forgets. So now, 536 years back, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes. Krishna comes. Krishna, who is two as Radha and Krishna, he combines into one form as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. To actually teach us how to worship Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes the form of a devotee. Because devotee can teach other devotees by his own examples. By watching him, by following him, others will learn. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu role of coming and teaching us, sharing with us how to worship Krishna in this particular Kali Yuga. Where all of us we're very unfortunate, we're very manda buddhi, manda bhagya, this intelligence is bad, we're unfortunate. Lifespan is very less, only 60, 70, 80 years, max 100. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes. Now the question comes, who is the personality who would bring Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to this world? That's the role of our Advaita Acharya Prabhu. Advaita Acharya Prabhu, he appeared almost, let me see the next slide, if I can go to the next slide. Okay, this we covered. This is Advaita Acharya Prabhu. Advaita Acharya Prabhu appeared almost 50 2 years before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he appeared, his mother name was Nabhadevi and his father name is Kuber Pandit. He appeared in the village of Navagram, and then later on the family moved to Shantipur, which is part of Navadvip. And he was very young, by a teenager. Yeah, he was around teenager when his mother and father left. And he started his pilgrimage for next almost 25, 30 years. He actually went to all the holy places in India. And actually his childhood name was Kamalaksh. He had beautiful eyes, Kamalaksh. And when he was traveling all over the holy places in India, he met his spiritual master, Madhavinder Puri. So Srila Madhavinder Puri, he gave Kamalaksh this name of Advaita Acharya. The word Advaita is a bit confusing because Advaita means dual, Advaita means non-dual, which is philosophy of Shankaracharya, non-dualism. That the jiva, the spirit soul, and the super soul, the Paramatma, they're one, non-dual. They're not two. Jiva only in this conditioned state feels like he's different from God. But as soon as Jiva finds liberation, then he can become God. So therefore, Jiva and God are same. That's the dualism, non-dual philosophy of Shankaracharya. So Advaita word is very much used in Shankara, in Mayavadi's philosophy. But in our Gaudiya Siddhanta, in Madhava Siddhanta, Madhavacharya was fully non-dual. Madhava's philosophy is non-dualism. Krishna is separate, and these living entities, jivas are separate then from Krishna, from God. These are two different. They're always different. They will always be different. They were always different. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to harmonize these two philosophies, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took both philosophies and harmonized them by saying Chintya Bheda Bheda. Yes, Jiva is one with God in quality. They both are Satchitananda. But Jiva is also different from God in quantity. In quality, they're same. In quantity, Jiva is infinitesimal and Krishna is infinite. Jiva is Anu, Krishna, God is Vibhu. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy. So this name Advaita Acharya was given by his Gurudev Madhavinder Puri with the understanding that this personality, Advaita Acharya, he will be one in purpose of his Supreme Master Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's purpose was to bring just purpose of Krishna. Krishna's purpose is to bring back all the living entities back to Goloka. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. His mission is to bring back all the living entities back to Goloka. So Advaita Acharya's mission is same. So in that sense, the word Advaita, non-dual, no two purpose, no two meanings, only one meaning, that all the living entities, they must go back to Goloka. That's the proper understanding of the word Advaita in our Gaudiya philosophy. So we wanted to make sure we become familiar with that, why he's called Advaita Acharya. So that's one other point. Now that time, when Advaita Acharya Prabhu appeared, and they were in Shantipur, Navadvip, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not there, especially in the beginning, because there is a difference of 52 years in between Advaita Acharya Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Navadvip was a place of great opulences. Great opulences. It was a seat of Nyaya philosophy. Great philosophers from Kashmir, from Banaras, from many other places, they will come to Navadvip to debate and prove their might. They're the best Sanskrit scholars all over the world. Keshav Kashmiri came. Others, every day. Those were the melas. Those were the festivals. Debates will happen, and people were rich. People had a lot of money, opulences. Some people were so rich that huge weddings were performed. Huge. I know today weddings also, people spend a lot of money in India. But those times also in Navadvip, because people had so much opulences, they were spending also. But Advaita Acharya Prabhu that time, he had a small group of devotees. They will come together and chant Krishna's holy names and do Krishna Katha from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. But Advaita Acharya, like we said, his purpose is one with Krishna. And so his compassion, his heart was crying for all these materialistic people who had great opulences, great philosophy. Nobody could defeat them in arguments. Many of them were even Vedantist. They knew philosophy from the Vedas and the Upanishads, and they will debate with each other, they'll defeat each other and feel proud. But no bhakti, no love for Krishna, no devotion, because they were not performing devotional services, as Srila Prabhupada writes. They were dry philosophers. So the Advaita Acharya heart was paining that these souls will never be able to get back to their original constitutional position and their place in Goloka and Vaikuntha, it's very difficult for them to achieve. So he used to pray. Advaita Acharya used to pray from his heart. He will tell his other Vaishnava devotees that please pray. We're only in a minority. It's like here in New Jersey, I don't know how many, if 100,000 families live, even from our Indian origin. Only, I don't know, 100 of us, 50 of us today, whatever, 10 of us are around on this conference. So Advaita Acharya Prabhu was also painting that these hundreds and thousands of these Navadvip Vasis, they're bereft of love for Krishna. And they have no devotion. So he was praying for them. He was crying for them. And then, next slide. Here is the slide. He was reading scriptures and he found this wonderful, I'm forgetting which scriptures he read. He read that if somebody worship the Lord with tulsi leaves and the Ganges water every day, then Lord can be pleased. Lord can be pleased to such a level. The word used is, I think I have written somewhere. Krishna says, I become the property of the devotee, and the devotee can do whatever he likes to do with Krishna. Krishna becomes so indebted to the devotee, so much pleased with the devotee. So Advaita Acharya Prabhu said, okay, I must do that. And this is something very beautiful because sometimes we feel that I'm learned, I have understood the Shastra, I now got Bhakti Shastri or something. Therefore, I can preach, I can give classes, I can change people, I can distribute love of Godhead. But here Advaita Acharya Prabhu, highly learned, not just the purest Brahmana, but purest Vaishnava. Actually, his identity in the Shastras explains he's actually a combination of Mahavishnu and Sadashiva. Hari-hara, Hari-hara. Hari is Lord Vishnu, Hara is Lord Shiva. That's his identity in the spiritual world. So just imagine with that identity, with that empowerment, you have so much in your hand. So he could have changed everybody in Navadvip Dham in days so that they all become devotees. But he's not taking all that on his head. Something very special to learn. He's praying. And our Shastras explains that he's praying to the Lord because he felt that this is an emergency situation. In emergency situation, you need a specialist. You need a super surgeon. So Advaita Acharya feels that Lord Krishna himself is a super surgeon. At this time, he must come. And he himself should come and he should show by his own example how to love Krishna. And let the whole world glorify again that same Krishna who appeared 5,000 years ago. For people, they have to see. It's a human nature. We have to see somebody in action. So Advaitacharya Prabhu, he wanted the Lord to come, himself to appear as a super surgeon. So Advaitacharya, every day he would, early in the morning, he'll spend hours and hours and hours of chanting Krishna's holy names, crying loudly, crying with tears in his eyes out of his utmost compassion, worshipping the Shaligram Shila with Tulsi leaves and Ganges waters, and crying. I believe the word used is hunkar. He will hunkar. That hunkar will be heard far and wide. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually explains then later on to his other Parshads, Nityananda Prabhu and Sridivas Pandit, that I was sleeping on the ocean and I heard Advaita Acharyas calling me, crying. Therefore I appeared. I appeared because of the calling of Advaitacharya Prabhu. So we see here very clearly Advaitacharya Prabhu's role of bringing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to this world. As we glorify Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaur Purnima, appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming next month, March 17, I believe, Thursday or Wednesday. We must glorify those who are responsible for the advent of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Advaitacharya Prabhu is the direct cause of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's advent. And he's worshipping these shilas with his tulsi leaves. Such a simple process to worship the Lord and please the Lord. There's a small story in this reference how Lord becomes so happy with this simple worship of tulsi leaves and Ganges water. This is back in Bombay. We didn't have the Juhu temple at that time. Srila Prabhupada was staying with some life members in his house. And he was talking to many of his senior disciples, planning about this Juhu temple issues, so much going on. Very serious, intense discussion going on. And this very simple laborer, he didn't even have much clothes on him. Some little lungi, chadar on his waist to the knee, that also kind of ragged. He somehow comes through the door, walks in with a little flower, and he offers to His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, pay his obeisances, and he leaves the room. Now this intense discussion is going on. Srila Prabhupada with his disciples, he stops the discussion. he closed his eyes and he's thinking, and he's thinking, and he's thinking. After 3-4 minutes, he opened his eyes and he told all his disciples sitting there, sannyasis, very senior disciples, serving Srila Prabhupada's mission. He tells all of them, Srila Prabhupada tells all of them, that look at this little laborer. How does he know that I'm here in this room? How does he know that he should be offering this little flower to me? He said, Srila Prabhupada said, I'm very moved by his devotion. I'm very moved. So Srila Prabhupada, with his closed eyes, is actually blessings that insignificant laborer, servant, apparently in our eye, in eyes of the world, we see them as little insignificant. They don't necessarily, they're not coming to artis and doing kirtans and deity worship and having any mala or anything. But I was thinking how fortunate that devotee of the Lord was, that he received direct inner feeling blessings of Srila Prabhupada just by offering flower. And then Srila Prabhupada concludes that statement with his disciples. He said, this is similar. He said, just like he moved my heart, similarly, Krishna is moved by Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. He's moved. And he's moved to such an extent that he's ready to do anything for his devotees. So here, Advaita Acharya Prabhu moved Lord Vishnu, sitting on that Kshira ocean, moved. Lord Vishnu is telling Lakshmi, I am ready to go. Advaita Acharya Prabhu is calling, I must go. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears to Sachi Mata at the request of Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu. So what blessings we have from Advaita Acharya Prabhu, that he has actually given us Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this Pancha Tattva, we see here, this is Pancha Tattva. We all see this picture. We have Pancha Tattva on our temple altar. The absolute truth and 5 features, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to enjoy the five rasas, he appears in this Panch Tattva form. Panch Tattva Atmam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Savrupkam Bhakta Avataram Bhakta Akhyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. So here we see Advaita Acharya Prabhu as Bhakta Avataram. Bhakta Savrupam is Nityananda Prabhu, and Bhakta Rupa himself is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Gadadhar Pandit is incarnation of Srimati Radharani, and Shirivas is Srila Narad Muni as a devotee of the Lord. So these different rasas, and these Panch Tattvas, they blended, it's explained in many bhajans of Srila Narottam Das Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that how these Panch Tattvas, they plundered the treasure of the holy names of Krishna and distributed them, the names, indiscriminately. Either you are Jagaya and Madhaya, or you are Sarabhuma Bhattacharya, or you are His Holiness Prakashananda Saraswati Thakur, or you are the greatest debater at that time, Keshav Kashmiri. Everyone got the holy names of the Lord indiscriminately, without putting anybody down, without making anybody feel less or bad. Jagai Madais, they were given respect. Srila Sarva Bhattacharya, Srila Prakashananda Saraswati, they all were given great respects. They were not put down that, oh, you're Mayavadi, you're this thing. No, not by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He just gave them love of Godhead because that's what he plundered the treasure of that holy names of Krishna and given to the world. Now, I must also keep track of time. Sorry, time is not so much. We will cover quickly in next 10 minutes Advaita Acharya Prabhu's qualities. Two qualities, compassion and humility. Compassion, we touched upon it, that because of his compassion, he's crying, he's worshiping, and that's how he, compassion for all of us, compassion for all the fallen souls of this Kali Yuga. And that's because of his compassion, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears. Other little less known story I want to also share with you. We all know Madan Mohan Diri in Shri Vrindavan Dham today. That's been worshipped by Srila Sanatana Goswami. The original deity now is in Karoli, Jai, in Rajasthan. After Aurangzeb was trying to plunder our temples in Vrindavan, those Radha Madan Mohan deities were moved to Karoli in Rajasthan. Yeah, I think it falls in Rajasthan. Those deities were actually first worshipped and excavated and founded by Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu during his pilgrimages to the holy places. When he was in Vrindavan area, in Mathura area, those deities appeared to him. He was worshipping them. And when he was about to leave Braj-dham to go to the next holy places, he wanted to leave those deities behind. He left with the family of Parshottam Chobe of Mathura. And then there is a nice story how Sanatana Goswami then received those deities from Parshottam Chobe's family and worshipped them, and they became our Sambandha deities. So not only Advaita Acharya Prabhu brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to us, but he also gave us the Sambandha Gyan through giving us the deities of Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ji. That's his compassion. And we Jiva souls, we have, Krishna explains to Arjuna in chapter 2 how that compassion we all have for family members, for friends, for other living entities. But Arjuna was showing that compassion in chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita to all his grandfathers, grandsires, his brothers, cousins, gurus. But Srila Prabhupada writes in those purports that Arjuna compassion in that beginning was on the body level. It's like saving the drowning man, in trying to save the drowning man, but you end up only saving his dress. But he's drowned. Person is drowned. So the compassion, we living entities, we somehow get restricted to because of our own anarthas, that we're not necessarily showing compassion for the soul of the living entities. But Advaita Acharya Prabhu was extremely concerned about our souls, our connection with Krishna. So that compassion is real. It's a higher compassion. It's a higher principle. And we see that example of Srila Prabhupada, how he followed on the footsteps of Advaita Acharya Prabhu. He was showing his compassion. He was living in Vrindavan and going a couple of times in a week at 110 degree to New Delhi to distribute his 5-10 pages of writings in the form of Back to Godhead magazine. He would sweat and sweat and sweat, and few times he actually fell in so much heat. Somebody saved his body. Then he took this Yaladuta with heart attacks. He came to Bauri. He was staying with this person who was actually drug addicts, and he stole everything Prabhupada had, and he actually tried to kill Prabhupada with his knife. Prabhupada stayed in Butler, Pennsylvania, in a house where there was a meat in the refrigerator. He stayed there for a few weeks, month. But again, he was also sharing this compassion that Advaita Acharya Prabhu showed by worshipping and training these Vaishnavas in Navadvip to bring Chaitanya Mahaprabhu down on this planet Earth. It's actually explained that before Srila Prabhupada boarded that Jaladuta in Calcutta, he actually gone to Shri Advaita Acharya's place, and he was crying and crying and crying. And then when Pujari asked, who are you? I have seen you before, because Srila Prabhupada used to go in 1940, 45, 50 to Shantipur to actually pray to the Advaita Acharya's deity form that please empower me. My Gurudev has asked me to preach this message to the Western world. I don't know how to do it, but you brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu down on this planet. You brought Krishna. Therefore, you will guide me how to bring that Krishna to the Western world. So when in 1965, Srila Prabhupada went to the Shantipur Advaita Acharya Prabhu's temple, this Pujari was looking at this sannyasi and he asked, what's happening? So Srila Prabhupada cried and he said, this is my mission. You also please pray for me. Pray to Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu that today I have to go and board the Jaladuta and my mission can be successful. And we see that when Srila Prabhupada came to the Boston Harbor, Chaitanya, Srila Prabhupada writes that Krishna, you have given me the name Bhakti Vedanta, but I don't have bhakti, I don't have knowledge. So I don't know why you have given me the name Bhakti Vedanta. So this is his utmost humility. Just like Advaita Acharya Prabhu had this utmost humility that he's Mahavishnu, his Lord Shiva, Sada Shiva, his combined form, he could change the world. If he could drink that halal to save billions of souls at that time, can't that same person, same personality change the face of the world by giving them Krishna consciousness? But no, in his humility, he wanted all that glory to go to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to Krishna himself. In that same humility, Srila Prabhupada's writing, that I don't have bhakti, I don't have devotion. You do what you have to do. You are my puppeteer, I'm puppet in your hand. You make me dance as you wish me to dance. So you make my name come true, Bhakti and Vedanta. Let me share Bhakti through you. I myself cannot do much. So that's wonderful story of Srila Advaita Acharya. We will end with this one small story of Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu, that how much love he had for the holy name and for the Vaishnavas. Advaita Acharya Prabhu's, he would perform Shraddha ceremony for his father's anniversary, disappearance day, every year. No, I didn't mention before, I should have, please forgive me. Srila Haridas Thakur was living very close to Shantipur in Kuliagra. So Srila Haridas Thakur used to come and hear Krishna Katha, Bhagavatam Katha from Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu. They were great, you can say, friends, devotees. So during this Shraddha ceremony, this one year, Advaita Acharya Prabhu's invited all the Brahmanas. That's the process. It's a ritual. And it's a wonderful ritual to perform, to seek blessings of all the Brahmanas and the cows and all the other living entities to bless your departed pitras, parents. So Advaita Acharya Prabhu performs this ceremony, and huge prasadam feast is cooked, offered to the Lord, and the process is to offer the first Mahaprasad offering of Krishna's prasad, offer that to the chief guest, honor of guest we call sometime, or chief guest of that ceremony. And there were hundreds of Brahmanas, very elevated, in that assembly. Whole Navadvip, Shantipur, they were invited. They were all there sitting, watching who will be offered that first Mahaprasad plate of the Shraddha ceremony. So Srila Advaita Acharya Prabhu stand up and he goes to Srila Haridas Thakur. He said, you please take the first Mahaprasad offering plate. Srila Haridas Thakur, out of his humility, he said, no, Advaita Acharya Prabhu, please don't do that. I'm not fit. I'm Chandala. I come from Muslim family. There are all these very exalted Brahmanas who are assembled in this assembly. You please offer them. And then Advaita Acharya Prabhu makes very profound statements. He said, Srila Haridas Thakur, by offering you first, I'm pleasing millions of Brahmanas by offering you first, because you have such a taste of the holy names of the Lord. By offering you, I'm automatically receiving blessings from millions of Brahmanas in this assembly. So you please partake this Mahaprasad first. So this is Advaita Acharya Prabhu's glories, that he wanted to glorify the Vaishnavas beyond this caste creed system that was established at that time. So today we pray to Advaitacharya Prabhu and the devotees who are following on his footsteps by showing compassion in utmost humility to millions of other living entities to come closer to Krishna. That same Advaitacharya Prabhu, you please also bless us so we can serve the mission of His Divine Grace, our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ji, his Gurudev Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and our Guru Paramparas and 6 Goswamis and Panch Tattva. So we can also play some humble role in this distribution of love of Godhead of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thank you so much, all the Vaishnavas, for hearing, giving your attentive energy. Any reflection? We have, sorry, it's a bit late, 7:38. I was hoping to end by 7:30. If somebody wants to share some reflections, comments, we can spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes max. I don't know how many of us are there. Amartananda Prabhu, you want to share something?
Very nice class, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Share some Krishna Katha with us.
All I can say, Prabhu, is this last pastime which you spoke about, where Advaitacharya, he offered the Mahaprasad to Haridas Thakur, though technically he's not Brahmana. So this also goes to show that a Vaishnava is above everything. You know, there were these Varnashrams and all, so it does. Vaishnava or Bhakti is something which has no, it literally anyone and everyone can participate. And whoever participates in it wholeheartedly is automatically the perfect human being, the highest human being. So Prabhupada had said the perfected state of a human being is a Vaishnava. I mean, but to that extent, I'm forgetting the exact, I'm just paraphrasing. So yeah, Prabhu, this pastime also, when you were saying this, I was seeing how Prabhupada's words and even the highest bhakti doesn't disqualify. Doesn't matter what your birth is, doesn't matter what your background is, it doesn't matter what you have done, haven't done. What you are doing and how you have surrendered takes you immediately. Thanks for that, Prabhu.
Thank you, thank you. Anybody else who would like to share before we conclude?
Let us thank Devkinandan Prabhu by chanting loudly 3 times Hari Bol.
Hari
You
Hari.
can unmute your mics. Thank you, Devkinandan Prabhu. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Vanchakalpa Tarupasya Patitanam Pavnebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
Vaishnav Vrind ki jai,
Jai.
Shri Advaitacharya Params Ji ki jai.
Jai.